So I guess there's a little drama going on with Supreme X The North Face. The consumers aren't happy with what we've been getting for the last few years, and I'm one of them. So today, guys, we're gonna turn back the timetables, go into the years of Supreme's past, and take a deep look at what the North Face used to be, what it became, how it attained greatness, and how it has fallen from its heights. This is the history of the North Face X Supreme, and I'm SupThomas. Let's go on a little adventure through streetwear's past.
What we do here is go back.
Before we get started, I want to remind you guys to please hit like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Also hit the noti bell so you can stay up to date every single time I post and go live. I go live every single Thursday and Friday for Supreme and Palace when those brands are dropping. I'm considering doing live streams for other brands, so whatever you guys want to see me cover, join the live streams, comment in the chat, and tell me what kind of drops you want me to look at. We also just got Streamlabs Pro, so I'm gonna start streaming all of my weekly live streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/TomassuVT. Help me get to 25 followers on Twitch, guys. I mean, not asking for much here. We also have memberships available here on the channel starting at just $2.99 for the Hypebeast tier, $6.99 for the Supreme tier, and $14.99 a month for the Grail tier if you really want to flex on people and tell everybody who your name is.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
You get to come on the channel, we get to do a collab. Also at the lower levels, you get stuff like shout outs at the end of the videos, content suggestions, discounted merch, loyalty badges in chat, and exclusive chat icons. So if any of that interests you, consider becoming a member. We are trying to shoot for 10 members by the end of the year. Now, enough self-promo. I swear to God, we have an actual video coming today. All right, so the format of this video is gonna be pretty simple. I'm going through an article right now on goat.com, going over every single Supreme X The North Face collab from 2007 until 2022. At that point, the article cuts off because it's 2 years old. Then we're going to go through the last few ones, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on each of these and just kind of take you guys back through time, as we said, and analyze what made this collaboration so great. Why do people get so hyped about some weird winter jackets and some warm clothing? Why do you want to spend $400 plus on a coat that says Supreme The North Face? That's it. What's so important about it? Let's figure that out. Quick shout out to the author of this article, Greg Foley, over on goat.com. Shout out to the dude. I'll put a link in the description for you guys, check it out. But here is the very first collab. And if this looks familiar, it is because we had an inspiration for this very jacket right here on the right from spring, summer 2024. We had the split jacket. We'll get into that at the very end of the video, but this is where it all started from fall winter 2007. These iconic Summit line series jackets. We only got 2 of them, right? And it was pretty simple. Like, it was our first outdoors collab from Supreme, but the vibe, I believe, really started here. You got the leopard on the inside, Supreme written in their classic font just on the left shoulder right there. Different alternating colors. You got this really bright red on the bottom, got the light green right there. Very cool stuff. 90s style cues, tonal branding, leopard print liner, which again had never been done on a North Face jacket. Like, Supreme was making this really simple outdoorsy jacket cool. You got to remember, it's 2007, guys. Like, Kanye is beginning to wear the pink polo. Like, this is before Graduation even came out, right? You got to remember the times. But think about what Supreme's doing as a skate brand, making stuff like this. It starts with that. Then you got spring, summer 2008, one of my favorite ones of all time. Their first graphic from the North Face collab, Day and Night. Supreme and the North Face 08 collab yielded exactly what the name implied. We had the day edition with vibrant hues of sky blue and sunshine orange. The night version, of course, low-key. It was a grayscale picture. I don't know why we don't have more pictures of the 08 collab. Let's take a look at a different site just so we can get more pictures. Luckily, we got Supreme Community right here who did an awesome post on their Instagram. I'll be sharing this to my story a little bit later. But here is the 2008 collab. You can see the Denali jackets with the fleece. This is one of my favorite ones of all time. You can't see my mouse, but it's the blue and white one. And then the day and night down there, very cold as well. And this pictured the New York Midtown's Public Library, which is pretty dope. Here is the top, which is fall winter 08, bottom spring summer 2010. I don't know why they have these ones showcased in the same image, but it's a, you know, it's an article. They're going to show different pictures. Fall winter 2008. Boom, we're here. I believe this is the first time they incorporated fleece into the collabs, reworking the North Face's paneled Denali style in tones of turquoise, violet, pink, resulting in a high-vis colorway that had rarely been seen before on the classic silhouette. So this is really taking those style cues again and bringing out fun colors like vibrant pink, purple, blue on a fleece jacket. They're beginning to experiment. They're going to other silhouettes. Let's continue on. Again, that's the fall winter 2008. Here we go with the 2010. So 09, we took a little bit of a break. After a season's hiatus, Supreme and the North Face returned with another headline-making collaboration. This time, the two worked together on a brand new silhouette, a lightweight pullover tri-coat shell jacket with taped seams providing waterproof protection. Influences include Ralph Lauren Americana, understated everyday and streetwear subversion. Which understated everyday and streetwear subversion. Very cool. So there are the jackets from 2010, a pretty clean looking collaboration. And if you guys know what this year's collab looks like, you've already seen my video, you've looked on the news site, you know that people would go crazy for something that's just this simple. Give us the mountain jacket, give us 3 clean colors, we'll be right on our way. All right, spring, summer 2011. They came out with a trio of lightweight windbreaker jackets in a striking checkerboard pattern. Oh man, rendered in red, navy, yellow, and white, tonal black colorways. These 3 were accompanied by 3 matching the North Face caps and a sleeping bag with a checkerboard interior liner. So spring, summer 2011 was the first time we got a wide collection of various other items. So you can see the checkerboard stuff right here. We also got backpacks, and I actually used to own the spring summer 2011 Supreme North Face backpack, which was super sick. I remember picking it up secondhand on like eBay or Grailed back when I was in high school for a steal. It was under 200 bucks, and nowadays those backpacks that match these jackets go for so much. It's either fall winter 2011 or spring summer, I forget, but the fact that it's checkerboard makes me believe it's spring summer. It doesn't really matter. Then for fall winter 2011, they started just really cooking. They came through with a jacket that really changed the entire game, guys. The Nuptse jackets with a vibrant leopard print. I'm sure you've seen plenty of rappers rocking this stuff. Here's Playboy Cardi right here in the classic yellow leopard Supreme North Face from 2011. 700 fill, goose down. Just insane. We have luggage coming in the mix, and then Drake put on the gray version of the hoodie or of the Nuptse for the Motto music video, which of course just exploded on the internet. This is 2011. This is blog era. You guys got to remember, it's not like modern day where everybody has social influence. It was a couple of tastemakers that really made the difference, like Drake, Kanye, athletes, LeBron, Kobe, etc. There's more people too, but I can only think of a few. So it was really important when that kind of stuff happened. So seeing this was a big shift from what we've been used to. Supreme is starting to really find their own element around this 2011 mark. Spring summer 2012, we got a pair of Venture parkas, some lightweight water resistant nylon. And what wasn't present on this collaboration was the right sleeve logo patches, which is so important to have those right there. In its place though was an all over map print. So the brands are kind of experimenting, doing some new things, and that's not new, right? Supreme always has done this. They've always attempted to do things differently, change it up, sometimes just for the sake of changing it up. There are the 2012 spring summer jackets. I'm not really a fan of these, to be honest, the all over map prints, but map stuff does continue to come back, and I think it gets really good at a certain point. Fall winter 2012, revamp of the mountain parka, premium corduroy fabric. That's pretty cool. 3 day pack backpacks on classic JanSport styles, right? We got the sleeve patches back. We're doing the collections. And again, this isn't a comprehensive view of everything. I'm just showing you guys kind of the broad strokes. We're talking about what these items entail, the general story. If we were talking about every single piece, we'd be going even longer than we already are. But corduroy, pretty cool. Colorways, I think they're pretty sick. Now, be honest with me, guys. Who was around during this time? Who was in the sneaker game when this came out? This piece right here, Spring Summer 2013, the Supreme 3M North Face collab dropped, and it transcended streetwear. This is the very first Supreme piece I ever saw. I saw this on Complex or Sneaker News, Picks on Fire, whatever blog I was reading at the time, and I discovered what Supreme was. I had maybe heard murmurings and heard a couple things, but at this point, I'm a sophomore in high school. I've been into sneakers for about 2.5 years. I had a couple of retro Jordans. I was starting to get into LeBrons, starting to make YouTube videos. If you go back on my channel, sort by oldest, skip past the cringe Pokemon stuff and gaming weird stuff, you will find me uploading videos in 2013 talking about sneakers. And I think my first Supreme video is probably like 2014. I have a video of the sandals. So this is a really important drop. The 3M TNF, it's really trendy because 3M was huge. Young Lean in the Kyoto music video, they're all wearing fucking Sad Boys, Nike Dry Fit 3M stuff. Anytime 3M was on sneakers, like for the Jordan 5s, on the tongues, it was just very important. So trust me, if you guys are newer to the game, this was a game changer. And people went crazy for it. Really, really made a name for itself on this super loud collab, and I think for good reason. And just take a notice on these runs that Supreme goes on, because we are really building up. So if you guys are getting bored, I don't know what to tell you. Strap in, get your coffee, and chug that shit, boy, because we got some amazing pieces to keep looking at. Another infamous jacket was this Nuptse, the fur pattern Nuptse from fall winter 2013, another Drake special. The dude put this on and actually turned this piece around. People hated this when it came out. At this point, I'm following Supreme news. I'm on the blogs. I'm looking at Strictly Supreme on Reddit. Drops by Jay. I don't think he was around quite yet, but people were starting to talk about this stuff. People hated this thing. Trust me, they did. And if they didn't, you weren't looking at the same blogs that I was. But then Drake wore it. He wore it for a concert, I believe, and people went crazy. There was also a sleeveless vest version. And yeah, it really shows Supreme is able to take inspiration and do unique patterns and make them hype, make them sell out, and make people want to covet these items. Like take the classic Nuptse jacket and then put some crazy fur on it, go nuts with it, and then have Drake wear it, and you're good. You're good to go. And now it's time for spring summer 2014. The year I graduated high school, my freshman year of college, we saw the release of this collection right here, the Expedition Coach's jacket, removable hood, just very sick. I mean, clear Ralph Lauren inspiration with all the different logos from the countries, but very, very dope indeed. The flags, kind of coming back to that map design we talked about earlier. And guys, let me tell you, these were hype. At this point, I really didn't have enough money to cop Supreme North Face stuff, but this stuff was really coveted and sold out instantly, resold for a lot, and it just had that Supreme formula down pat, and I can't believe I took this stuff for granted. I don't know about y'all, but this is the kind of thing that I think about with Supreme the North Face is there's so many vintage pieces to go after. Even if we don't have the greatest stuff coming out right now, we can always go back to the archives and cop this stuff. Or resale, admittedly, but nevertheless, because we like it, because we fuck with it, and we're just getting started. We got 10 more years of this shit. All right, we got to start probably picking it up a little bit. Bandana print. I mean, for obvious reasons, this thing went so hard. Barring just the gang member affiliation stuff, this was super sick. It was all over rap videos at the time. Everyone was wearing this bandana shit. It went super hard. They had a bunch of other things like paisley gloves, sleeping bag, just really cool accessories, and people were eating fall winter 2014. This is the start of kind of Instagram era. Drops by Jay, I think, was starting to get into the mix, like dropless stuff. And I was definitely making some content. Couldn't really tell you what, but it's out there. You want to check it out, and it's cringy glory. But the bandana stuff, extremely clean. You really can't go wrong with it at all. I mean, just look at this. Just keep it simple, stupid. There's nothing else you really need to do. Bottom is spring summer 2016. Top is fall winter 2015. We don't have the spring summer 2015 pictures on the GOAT site, but on Supreme Community we do have it up here. Let's give them a break. We had a bunch of really dope shit, and we're about to get into some really dope shit. I keep thinking we're getting into it before we actually do. This one's just okay. It's still pretty solid because we just have the simple logos. You got some nice patterns and some nice colors. But of course, what I want to get into is this right here. We're going to go back to just Reddit or Instagram. By any means necessary, the beginnings of what would become Drip Goku. I mean, Supreme by any means necessary. It's a very classic design. Technically, it's based off of a French phrase, which is it was a translation. I didn't know this, but it's from Jean Paul. I was not the one to invent lies. They were created in a society divided by class, and each of us inherited lies when we were born. It is not by refusing to lie that we abolish lies. It is by eradicating class by any means necessary. En usant de tous les moyens. That's probably really bad, but there it is. A very cool phrase. That's got the Malcolm X connotations as well. I just think it's super sick. I really want this puffer or this jacket in black, size medium or large. Please, I don't want to pay too much resale. I'd rather take a highly used version, or if any of you have one, like I know one of you does, and want to consider hooking your boy up, I'll save up YouTube money till the end of the year, and we'll cop this by any means necessary. And we just continue on, man. Fall, winter, or spring, summer 2016. We got the Steep Tech's first drop right here. You got spring or fall, winter 2016 with the leaf camo. I actually have quite a bit of this stuff. I have the backpack and the slippers. And at one point, I used to have the fanny pack as well, but definitely one of my favorite backpacks of all time. Fall, winter 2016. Got a little bit of wear and tear on the pockets right here, but I would definitely rock this for a long time. I mean, I would consider selling it for sure. I'm not super beholden to it and get a different Supreme, the North Face backpack, but I can say the backpacks are worth it. We got 3M hits on it. Supreme logo right there. I've taken this on so many camping trips. It's really done me right, and I love it. I feel like that's just kind of the thing that Supreme has been lacking with their collabs as of late. Look how simple all this stuff is. We had this hunter camo, right? You have the hunter camouflage, and then the loud orange hits where people, I don't know the rules, but sometimes when you're hunting, you have to wear reflective colors like orange so that other hunters don't accidentally shoot you. So there's different rules and different dates about that kind of stuff. But it was just really dope. And you had the Steep Tech stuff, which was okay. Spring, summer 17. Was it more Steep Tech stuff? No. The North Face's Trans-Antarctic Expedition. Jackets and pants. Arresting colorways. Heavy use of oversized Supreme, the North Face and Gore-Tex branding. Huge American flag motifs. Oh my god. We just go on a run right here, guys. Absolutely start cooking. Look at that right there for spring, summer 17. Yeah, this was spring, summer. This was fall, winter. Yeah, spring, summer 17. The Arctic Expedition. Really crazy. Look how many pieces there were too. Goes so hard. And then, man, this is spring, summer. Then fall, winter, part 1, part 2. I think this might be the best one of all time. Like the Arctic collab right here. Came in yellow, black, and red. Nupsy specs. Premium cowhide leather. It had premium gloves. All dope shit. Like very high luxury materials. You'll love to see it right here. I believe I think the top row is all the spring summer stuff. This is the fall winter stuff. It's talking about the leather. So there's the leather, and there is the Arctic stuff, which was just so sick. Of course, you have the duffel bags, the blankets, all the other accessories, just absolutely cooking with this era. Okay, so that was a part 1 and a part 2. The part 1 was the leather stuff right here. Part 2 was the mountain stuff. That's right. I don't know if I made that any kind of confusing or not. All right, getting into 2018. Man, the mountain parka with metallic colorways. This one is just okay. You know, I think it's really cool. It's definitely not the best they've ever done, but it's certainly not the worst. We also had snakeskin stuff later on in the season. Of course, we're continuing to get backpacks. We're continuing to get luggage and all kinds of stuff. I really dug this. Honestly, I thought this shit was pretty dope, but it wasn't anything super game changing. At this point, Supreme could drop something like this and people would be like, it's pretty good. We're going to cop it. We're going to get moderately hyped over it, but we're not going to lose our minds. I think if this stuff came out today, it would be heralded as a great return to form, but just the way it is. That's the part 1. Part 2, Expedition Coach's jacket, reversible and packable crusher hat. There you go with the snakeskin stuff. And we had a North Face tent with snakeskin camo. Okay, that's right. We got the North Face tent from Supreme. Let's take a look at that and see what that looks like. Boom. Totally forgot about this thing. Look at that. Supreme community from way back in the day. Hell yeah, dude. We don't see stuff like that anymore. And then we got fall winter 2018 with this stuff right here. Or maybe this is part 2 and that's the part 3. I mean, they're doing so many different stuff at this point. They were really just cooking. And this is still before they were purchased by VF Corp. I believe this is 2018 is Carlisle era. The fall winter 2018 part 1. This is the stuff right here, I believe. Not totally sure. And this video is going to be kind of all over the place like we do sometimes. But I'm hoping you guys kind of understand what's going on here. You know, I've been going for so long. Why don't we just kind of flip through and take the broad strokes, okay? Because we could drill down into each of these, but you guys get the point. See what I'm getting after, right? We have just so many cool items, one after another. Let's just go through a freaking hit of all of these. 2018, 2019, Supreme Arc logos, great colorways. Starting to have some problems, in my opinion. I think this drop was a miss. I remember going for the backpack, and it was one of my last Supreme cops for a long time. Like, I'm not kidding. This American Statue of Liberty backpack right here was not the move. Even though I think that the black one today looks decent and probably is better than a lot of stuff we've gotten in the past few years, in my opinion, it was starting to show even at this time. But I think Supreme and the North Face had so much clout that 2019's drop was just, you know, hey, call it a miss, a rare miss. Getting back into COVID era stuff. Now, just a note, I didn't purchase any Supreme and was not covering it or following it from about 2020 to 2022. I started coming back to the scene in 2022 spring summer season. These are a bit of blind spots, so I'm just going to give my overall takes on what it looks like. This stuff is fairly decent. I actually like this fisherman jacket vest stuff. I think that's a fun idea and makes sense with the North Face and who they are as a brand. I think the S logo stuff also 100% makes sense. The S logo has been this transcending item that was gaining popularity from the time they brought the S cap out, the time that Pete Davidson wore the fucking S logo sweatshirt on SNL, which people lost their mind when that happened for some reason. And yeah, we're just continuing to see more iterations of returning to form of different design ideas. This pattern is pretty cool. I don't think it's anything that changed the game or really brought Supreme the North Face to the next level, but it continued to keep it on the bar we've come to expect. S logo, cool, but maybe you could also consider, even though the fact that I just said I like it, that they're kind of running out of ideas at this point. If they're bringing in a Supreme lookbook piece that they've been making for years and just say, oh, let's put that on the North Face collab, maybe that's a good thing. And I think that's up to interpretation. But I could also see it as, well, you know, they're out of ideas. They're going to start just throwing shit at the fucking wall and seeing what sticks, right? This stuff right here, what is this, Summit Series? Yeah, I'm not a fan of this silhouette, to be honest. The bags aren't great either. Is that 2021 yet? Yeah, this is 2021. I like this stuff right here. Whatever this stuff was, maybe that's the spring-summer garb. Let's take a look at spring-summer. Nupsy. Yeah, I think this pattern is pretty decent. It's a classic Supreme North Face drop. It's nothing crazy. I mean, it's a crazy pattern, but they haven't done anything stupid quite yet. We haven't got to the stupid era of Supreme X the North Face, but we are close, and we're starting to fall off the wagon. Like this right here, Steep Tech, it's not good. The Supreme schizophrenic text, you know what my thoughts are on that. I think it's not great. This camo pattern, or whatever you want to call this thing, the dyed motif, bleached denim, I don't think it's it, guys. I don't think really any of this stuff besides the very top was good at all. And now let's get into 2022, some drops that I remember. Okay, the top one is actually better than I thought, low key. And I think that meant that I probably wasn't covering it too much at this point. Let's see what I remember. Right here, fall, winter, 2021, part 1. What do we got right here? Spring, summer, 2022. The mountain rescue stuff, Smith rescue goggles. This stuff's pretty cool. Yeah, rescue garb is dope. I like this stuff. I think this is a pretty cool and solid Supreme North Face collab. Yeah, the plus, it makes sense with the adventuring, outdoorsy, rescue stuff. But then we just got into a bunch of crap, guys. We got into a whole bunch of crap, and I really don't want to talk about it for too much longer. Spring, summer 22. We had the part 2 also. We've stopped seeing that, but the trekking stuff, maybe it's okay to some people in certain colorways. The black was decent, but man, in my opinion, this is where the fall off really started to hit fast. Fall, winter 2022, you had the chocolate stuff, which honestly, looking back on it, isn't too bad at all. But then we got more, I think this was Steep Tech stuff right here. Look how much crap was coming out. They were just overproducing at this point. And this is peak VF Corp. So VF Corp owns Vans. They own the North Face. They want to just put out as much stuff as possible. And then we got this stuff last year, which if you guys go back to my videos, you will hear my takes on this stuff. Trompe Olay, it looks like demon, right? It's not good. Trompe Olay looks cool on some items, like the pants that are coming out this year, I think kind of make it work. Not on a North Face, not on an Upsy. And then they put suede on an Upsy. Yep, I thought that was a good idea. Suede on an outdoor parka. What are they thinking? We did get a breath of fresh air though. This spring, we had this collab right here. I talked about it at the beginning of the video. This jacket right here. Take a look at the colors, purple and tan. We go all the way back to the front, all the way back to greatness. And we have this guy right here. So I actually dropped the ball and did not cop the right item. I copped the Nupsy. Thank you, Michael Taylor, for still copying from me. But I should have copped this mountain jacket because the mountain jacket was the absolute item to go for. And I was able to manual the Nups. It wasn't too bad. These were manuable too. It was a pretty crazy drop. The cool thing about this was you could swap each item out. If you got the black jacket, you could pop the split one right here, or the purple one, and then go black and purple, or cream and black, panda. You could go camo and purple, red camo and black, whatever you wanted to do, you got that. And that takes us to the drop from this week, fall winter 2024, and arguably just the weakest North Face drop I think of all time, guys. I think I'm gonna say that. And I know I've been giving them a pass, but let's look at what we've had before, and maybe it's personal preference. I'm sure you guys can pick maybe a Steep Tech drop that you don't like, but just look at where we've fallen from. These are the past few years. Even 2020, man, this isn't great. It's not great. This might be the last good drop. Spring summer 2019, like with the ARC stuff, the Denali jacket, they don't have to do much. And my purpose of this video is to kind of educate you guys and just remind you that this stuff exists. Yeah, it's on resale sites. You got to scour for it, but that's part of the fun. This is one of my grails right here. And it's one of the only Supreme items that I would actually pay considerable resale for, right? If I had $700 from YouTube ad revenue, if I was getting that crazy cheddar, I would consider dropping $700 on this thing. I mean, it sells for a lot more, but I'm willing to wait for the right person to sell it to me. Find the one that's in maybe a bit of a used condition, but look at what we used to have. And I think Supreme can return to this. I think what needs to happen is we need to take a little break. Take some off seasons from this drop. We have Essilor Luxottica coming to purchase the brand, taking away the reins from VF Corp. And I think that's what needs to happen, because Supreme the North Face just became this given. People just assumed it was going to be awesome forever. I'm realizing for some reason I didn't talk about 2010's fall winter. I mean, look at that camo. We thought we would have this forever. We really thought we would just have this forever. But that's kind of the way things go, guys. Like, nothing lasts forever. Even if Supreme was perfect, I don't think they could keep people's interest. And I think it's a mix of designs falling off from glory, as well as people getting sick and tired of the same old stuff, because at a certain point, even the most hardcore collectors get jaded by the same thing over and over again. How many jackets do you really need? To be honest, everybody needs like 1 or 2 winter jackets. And to be honest, guys, my winter jackets have lasted me forever. The only reason why we want new ones is because A, it's the newest and latest and greatest, and we have, you know, an addiction to being cool. Fair enough. Or B, the reason would be to resell it, which is totally fine. And I don't see any problem with that with Supreme, because it makes money. People love to buy it. You cop a sick item, you cop a North Face Nupsy, you resell it, you go back to get one of your grails. That's kind of the way it goes. But then we've just seen this shift the past few years, and it's really fallen from grace. And I think that all we need to do, or I guess all Supreme needs to do, is just take their foot off the gas, pump the brakes, either take a break. I'm not saying quit forever. That's an option though, because we have so much, but pretty much it, guys. So what are y'all's thoughts on Supreme the North Face? I hope you appreciated this more casual, historical dive into Supreme. I will say the editing on this video is probably not up to my normal standard, and hasn't been for a few weeks, because AI app that I use to edit my videos that takes out all these pauses, it's the greatest app of all time, I had an update recently that completely broke it. So I hope you guys don't mind that too much. I know most of you don't. I'm just overly OCD and perfectionist when it comes to my content. So hope you all appreciated it. Hope you learned something. Remember to like the video, comment if you liked, and dislike if you didn't like it. See you guys on Thursday for Supreme Week 9, the North Face collaboration and more. And then on Friday for Palace Week 3, Winter 24.
It's lights out and away we go.